Welcome back. I'm Dave Fulson, host of Trijicon's World of Sports Afield. Now, we are here at the big, gigantic, best hunting show in the world, the Dallas Safari Club Convention right here in Dallas, Texas. The entire hunting and shooting world is here, and of course that means Trijicon. And when you think of Trijicon being anywhere, you're going to have to think about the science of brilliant. Now, we're going to show you a quick little video. It's a term we use a lot. This will give you a really good idea of exactly why we use that term.
The legendary Trijicon ACOG was supposed to be a failure, according to optical experts at the time. However, our founder, Glenn Bindon, ignored the naysayers and created the lightest, toughest, most compact rifle scope in the world. Glenn's obsession with seeking brilliant aiming solutions, no matter what, continues to this day, supported by what we call the science of brilliant. The science of brilliant is non-negotiable. Every new Trijicon aiming solution must adhere to 3 principles. 1. It must continue our heritage of innovation. 2. It must offer industry-leading durability. 3. It must be created with unsurpassed craftsmanship. Then, and only then, can an optic be called a Trijicon optic. Trijicon has led the industry in the development of innovative any-light aiming systems since the company's founding in 1981. Tritium illuminated iron sights, the world's first fiber and tritium dual illuminated reticle rifle scope, the first optical enhancement of the M16 family by the US military, one of the world's most advanced thermal night vision product lines. Not to mention the Bindon aiming concept, which changed the way the world utilized illuminated reticles, with both eyes open. What we've learned from decades of deployment with America's greatest fighting forces, we've put back into our technology for hunting and shooting enthusiasts. Namely, unsurpassed durability. Every Trijicon rifle scope must adhere to MIL Standard 810 testing protocols in order to meet or exceed U.S. military and law enforcement requirements. Our testing procedures include extreme temperatures, consecutive rounds, drops, vibrations, and immersion. The result? Repeatable accuracy. Every time. At Trijicon, we believe in exact tolerances, exceptional quality, and the latest light management technologies. No component is overlooked because each plays a vital role. We also believe that optical perfection is not only created through the latest digital technologies, but also with highly trained, hands-on American workers who adhere to meticulous procedures and absolute craftsmanship. Absolute precision does not happen overnight. It takes a lifelong commitment to industry-leading research, design, and testing to seek innovative aiming solutions that constantly redefine brilliance. Only by adhering to the science of brilliant principles does a Trijicon product make its way into a customer's hands as a brilliant aiming solution. Trijicon, brilliant aiming solutions.
Welcome back. It's going to be an exciting afternoon because we're going to get to talk about a subject that is dear to all of our hearts, and that is hunting. So first of all, I want to introduce a couple of guys that probably don't need much of an introduction if you're a hunter or shooter, but my old running buddy, Larry Weishuhn. Most of you know Larry from his writings for a long, long time, his TV work. He's currently the host of DSC's Trailing the Hunter's Moon. Larry, you and I go back so long in this hunting game together, back from the old bow and arrow days. We've come a long way together.
Actually, I think since the beard was about the same color as this shirt is. You're right, but I'm going to tell you something. I am really excited about all this because here's a scope that we're going to talk about in a little bit that looks to me like, from what I've had a chance to look at it and play with, it was designed by somebody that really knew something about hunting.
Yeah, well, John Fink with Trijicon, you're a project manager. We're going to be talking about a scope here in a little bit. John, the sights are brilliant. It's more than really a tagline. It really means something.
It really is, and it goes back to our roots. Glenn Benden, our founder, was an engineer, and that is something that we carry on today. The spirit of innovation, constantly striving to grow and become better. And in everything that we're going to talk about here this afternoon, that is embodied in all of these scopes. But our craftsmanship, the durability and quality, that is something that we've absolutely maintained across the board in everything that we're doing and is mandatory, within Trijicon.
Well, Larry, you and I were talking a little bit early. I appreciate the fact that from the Benden family to the engineers to the people in the sales and marketing staff, if you work at Trijicon, you're a hunter and you're a shooter. And that means something to me. And that means product design and development that's always improving. Case in point, the scope we're going to be talking about today, the Huron. Brand new this year in 2020. I want to show you a quick video to show you why we're so excited. Larry, you can be a hunter without being a real serious shooter, but, it doesn't really go the other way.
That's right.
Most people that are hunters are serious hunters. And this is the Huron scope. I call it a hunting scope.
It is.
It is here for a reason at the right time. And let's talk a little bit about the Huron scope and why right now is the right time to come out with this product line.
John, I'll let you address that first because you know some of the technical aspects, and I'm going to talk a little bit about why I like it as a hunter.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, from the design aspect of these scopes, one of the first things you're going to notice in the Huron line, which is the first for Trijicon, is it's a non-illuminated scope. Okay, so you're going to have a black reticle. Now that's, illumination is not something that you always need in a hunting situation. And, part to help that is the glass clarity. Okay, we use the same quality glass that we use here as well as the same glass coatings that we use on our premier brand, the AccuPoint. Same thing with the adjusters and the internal optical systems. We've done nothing to sacrifice any quality in these. We've just taken the illumination out. So in doing that, we've been able to bring the price point down into a price point that most hunters can afford. Our MSRP range will be from $650 to $699. But other features of the scope, with the exception of the 3 to 9 by 40, which is on a 1 millimeter tube, the other three offerings, the 1 to 4 by 24, the 2.5 to 10 by 40, and the 3 to 12 by 40, are all on a 30 millimeter tube.
Larry, how many times does somebody come to you in a hunting camp or here at a show like the DSC show and said, man, I would love to have a Trijicon. I see you guys use them on television, but I don't know if I can afford one. Well, those days are over.
Well, those days are over. I think you just answered your own question because all those people that ask that question are going to be having one of these scopes. I'm really excited about this. I had an opportunity to use it this year a little bit and play around with it from a shooting perspective with the Hunter Hold, which I find to be an absolutely fantastic reticle. But the light gathering ability, because of the lenses that are used and the coatings that are used on here, are just phenomenal. I mean, I've used AccuPoint a bunch in years past. I love the lit reticle part of it. But with this scope, I mean, I was hunting not too very long ago, and I want to tell you something. There was a deer that came in on a dark afternoon, heavily overcast, 10 minutes before legal shooting time was over with, it was, for all practical purposes, dark. But because I had one of these scopes with a light
There you
gathering
go.
ability, he's at the
Yeah.
taxidermist right now.
Well, Larry,
Yeah.
we talk about it in whitetail. You know, when the big bucks come out, they come out in diminished light, early first thing in the morning, late in the afternoon. And for somebody that says, well, then how will I be able to make that shot? You know, without the tritium or the LED, it's the glass quality.
It's the glass quality and the coatings that are on there, which are phenomenal now.
That's right.
You mentioned it's available in a 1-4. You know, I don't get
Right.
to do a whole lot of shotgun shooting anymore. But if I were in one of those states where shotguns were the primary legal firearm, there's
Yep.
no question which scope I'd have. Again, because it's
Yeah,
a low,
that's right.
wide, you can get a wide field
Yeah,
of
that-
view. I've tried to scratch these lenses between you and me. Don't tell anybody. I can't do it. So, I mean, it's an unbelievably tough and durable scope. I used to test scopes. My deal was I'd take a rifle and I'd go, thump, drop it on the ground and go shoot it. This one stands up to that
Yeah.
a whole lot more, so I really like that.
And that's one thing that's gone into each of these lines as well. Each specific design and scope has gone through, you know, the same testing that we subject our military grade scopes to,
Yes.
which includes drop, which includes vibration, you know, recoil test up to 5,000 rounds. All of that, you know, as well as submersion. Now, we only submerge these to 10 feet because we don't feel like deer hunters are going to be deploying from a submarine or
Let's hope
anything, but, you know, but to 10 feet. But yeah, you know, they do hold up to all the rigors that you're going to throw at it in the field while hunting.
Now, with the options that you have in terms of the magnification with the 1-4, all the way up to the 3-12. Now, one of the things that I asked earlier about before we got on camera was the weight of the scope. And this is probably right at a pound, maybe a slight bit
Yeah,
over.
just a hair over,
So
right.
we're talking about a scope that's designed pretty much around and for deer hunting. But you know what? I've got a mountain hunt coming up. That shaves off a lot of weight.
It
and
does.
with that hunter hold
With the
that's
hunter
in
hold
there,
reticle, that's exactly right. And let's just talk about the hunter hold
Yes,
reticle for
please.
a second.
Hold
Now,
on, I want to mention too here again, remember, anybody that's watching this live, they have a chance to we're going to give one of these away, and we're going to be doing it all afternoon. So again, make a comment. If you've got a question that you want of our panelists to expand on a little bit, we'll be happy to do that. But remember, you know, we're going to be giving one of these away, and we want you to log in.
Now, tell me about the hunter hold, because this is like a standard almost type of reticle,
Yeah.
crosshairs, but then they're stadia wire type or whatever you want to
there
call
are,
it.
right, yeah, or just hash marks.
Hash marks, there you
But
go.
but
That's a
available
better term.
in all of the magnification ranges. So in all 4 magnification ranges, we have a hunter hold reticle. Now on the 3-9, we also have a duplex as well as a German number 4. But
Right.
the hunter hold reticle was designed around the 4 classic deer hunting cartridges. 270 with a 130 grain bullet, 30-06, 7 rim mag, and 300 Win mag with 150s. And if you'll use a 50-yard zero, okay, that's going to roughly equate to that crosses your line of sight twice, once on the way up, once on the way back
right.
down. So 50 equals 200, and then your first hash mark down will be your 300-yard hold, second hash mark down, 400-yard hold, third hash mark down, 500-yard hold.
So the beauty of that is, though, if you have it set up that way, and again, I'd recommend somebody go out and shoot to be sure.
Absolutely.
Because
You're gonna have to
depending
check
upon
it.
Rifle and all that, but, you know, I love to deer hunt, and so a lot of times I'm hunting in tight cover where we're rattling up bucks, and I mean,
Yeah.
they're right here.
Yeah.
You know, coming in, and then you may be out there as you're walking along, and there's a deer out there at 200,
That
225
comes in a
yards.
3x12.
Exactly. And
Understand.
you know what? With that hunter hold, with sighted in like you just
Right.
said, hold dead on and you got him.
Right.
We've got our first question. David asked, what does the name Huron mean, John?
So in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, there's the Huron Mountain Range, and it overlooks Lake Superior. It's a truly rugged wilderness area, full of natural beauty, and we just felt like being a Michigan-based company that it was a fitting name for this line of scopes.
Absolutely. Now, our second question, Will wants to know, Larry, what type of hunting is the Huron made for? Do we have enough time to talk about
No, we don't. I mean, we're talking about, you could use this for varmint hunting if you wanted predator hunting. You could use it for
Oh,
mule deer hunting, whitetail
sheep,
hunting,
mule deer,
antelope,
Africa.
sheep, Africa. You know, you name the situation and the animal, and it's going to work for you.
Yeah, good
No
answer,
question.
Good answer, correct answer, quick answer.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Sam wants to know, when can he get his hands on a Huron? Well, that's really probably the most exciting part of that, because
Yeah.
that can happen today. If you happen
Yeah.
to be at the Dallas Safari Club show, the entire Trijicon team and family is here. But John, if they don't happen to be in Dallas today, what do we do?
We are shipping, so these will be showing up on the dealer shelves as we speak. And if the dealer doesn't have one, I'd encourage them to get some on order.
Okay, we got another question. Mike asked, I'm looking for a hunting scope that my son who's just starting hunting. Would this be a good option for a beginner?
This would be a fabulous option because long eye relief, wide field, terribly tough. But you know what? He's going to buy the scope for his son.
And his son's going to be giving
You're
it to
on the
his
right
son.
page. That's where it's going to end up.
Yeah,
And
that's
his
right.
grandkids, because that's the quality. You look right there, it says Trijicon. This says Trijicon.
It's around.
It's done.
Yeah.
Pete has asked, how do the Huron's low light and clarity quality compare to the AccuPoint series? And that's really a good question, Peter, and let's discuss that for a minute.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be, equivalent in terms of the glass quality and the glass coatings. They are the same. They're both on a 30 millimeter tube. Now your AccuPoints have a 50 millimeter objective on them, where you're maxing out on a 40 millimeter here. So exit pupil is a little greater with a 50 millimeter objective, but it's not so much so that it's going to make a huge difference in that last few minutes of legal shooting light.
John, it's easy to talk about glass quality, and of course that's so important in a scope. But the glass quality doesn't matter if the glass is not housed in a rugged outside. And
That's
the Trijicon products are tested. We have drop tests, we have fall tests, we have throwing them on the ground test, we have submersion
Right.
tests. There is no stone left unturned
Right.
to make
And
sure
these are
that it's
the-
a rugged product.
Yep, and these are the same 6061, hydroformed housings that we use, on our AccuPoints. So there's, like I said, there's been no sacrifice whatsoever in quality.
Now, I'm sure we've got some people excited about this, and again, whether somebody is gonna own one for free today, again, call in, get on below and make a comment, call in with a question, and we'll answer that, but somebody's gonna win one. But again, pretty exciting for 2020. This has been coming for a while, and this is the largest product launch of its kind in the history of Trijicon, and the hunters and the shooters this is gonna make a lot of noise. It
They're the
already
ones
is
who are
out on the floor.
benefiting.
Yeah, you guys are gonna be busy this week.
Yes, we will.
And for weeks to come. Now, we're going to be back this afternoon again here in just a little bit. I'm going to have Mike Hanback, the host of Big Deer TV, and we're going to be looking at another one of the hunting offerings, the Credo HX. So don't go anywhere. Call us with a question. Write in below. Maybe you'll be the winner.